Hey everybody, this is Dalvin. Hope everyone is doing great. This is a quick video I'm going to make of me explaining and showing my top 3 favorite Trivium albums of all time and ranking going from number 3 to number 1. And you know, Trivium is a very special band to me. They got me into metal. The first concert I ever went to, I saw Trivium. And some of the first ever metalcore metal music I ever listened to was from Trivium. And they influenced my life a lot as a musician as well. I've seen them about 4 times live, and they're a kick-ass band. You know, they produce some really good music, energetic music that you get into, you get pumped up, some really good metalcore metal. So let's start this album, this ranking at number 3. So my favorite, from 3 to 1, starting number 3. And like I said, this was a very hard video to make because Trivium has just produced so much good music over the years, and they're such great musicians. So take this with a grain of salt, but this video was really hard to make. So my favorite album my favorite album from them, starting at number 3, is "The Sin in a Sentence," which was released in 2017. Just to show you here, here's the album. Now, what I like about this album a lot, I think instrumentally, it was Trivium's best album they ever made. This was their first album with their new drummer Alex Bent, and he is just a machine on the drums. He is a metal machine. Wow, he does crazy blast beats. He has a crazy setup. He has a crazy style. So yeah, instrumentally, this was their best CD. And you know, songs I like from the CD are like "The Sin in the Sentence," "Beyond Oblivion," "The Heart from Your Hate," "Beauty in the Sorrow," "The Reverend Chest." So many good songs from this album. It's pretty much like all killer. It's all killer, no fillers. So yeah, this album was really good. It was really solid. It was a comeback album from Trivium. They've been needing an album like this for a really long time, and it brought some life back into their career. You know, this album is really headbanging, and like I said, it's instrumentally probably their best album. The guitars are really technical. The drumming is extremely technical. And they took their music to a whole new level. So yeah, for me, this is a number 3. "The Sin in a Sentence." Check it out if you haven't heard it. It's a killer ass album. It's headbanging as fuck. So yeah, at number 2, well, this was an album that got me into Trivium. The first album I heard from them. I mean, the first songs from the first album I heard from them, and it was "Ascendancy" from Trivium. So yeah, Trivium Ascendancy is at number 2, just to show you here. And yeah, you know, to talk about this album a little bit, I was at my friend's house and I went to his room. He showed me a song from this album, and then I instantly became a metalhead. And then, you know, Trivium and In Flames were coming a couple weeks later to our city here in Toronto. I went to my first ever metal concert. I moshed, I headbanged, I met Trivium, got a picture with Corey Bailu in 2005, and this album was released in 2005. And yeah, Trivium Ascendancy, this was a real like breakthrough album. This was one of the albums that put Trivium on the map. This was the album that did put Trivium on the map, that solidified their state as a heavy contender in the metal genre. So yeah, Trivium Ascendancy, you know, like I said, this album, all killer, no filler. You know, it's just great song, great song after great song. A really good metalcore album. It's a really energetic album. It's really heavy. It's just great overall. I mean, it really pumps you up. And you know, if you're new to Trivium, or if you're thinking of listening to them, I highly suggest you check out Trivium Ascendancy, just because this was such a special album. This was the album that gave them life and that gave them a really promising career in the metal genre. So yeah, the songs, well, to be honest, I like all the songs on this album. The songs that stand out for me are like "Rain," "Drowned, Torn Asunder," "Departure," like "Light to the Flies," Blinding Tears will Break the Skies," which is I think a bonus track. These are some of my favorite songs, and yeah, this is a really, really energetic album. Like, it pumps you up. Like, if you're new to metal, if you don't listen to metal, if you listen to this album, you will become a metalhead guaranteed, because it just hooks on you, and it's a really great album. It's definitely, I think for its time, it's actually ahead of its time. It was released in 2005. This is one of those special albums that come once in a lifetime. It was definitely above its time, not for its time. That's why it was really special. So yeah, Trivium Ascendancy number 2. This came out in 2005. And yeah, great album, man. Amazing album. And now my number one Trivium album, my number one favorite, my favorite Trivium album. This might shock you, or well, you might find it somewhat surprising, but this is just my taste. You know, I'm not trying to push anything on anyone. You know, whatever album you like, that's good for you. This is just my own preference as a musician and as a metalhead. Trivium the Crusade. Now this was a 2006 release, just to show you here. This is Trivium the Crusade. This was a very special album for Trivium. This was their first thrash metal album, and they changed their genre quite a bit, their style, from Ascendancy heading into this album, and it came about a year later. Like I said, this was released in 2006. And yeah, you know, where to start with this album? I first heard this album. One second, my phone's ringing. Sorry about that. My phone keeps ringing. I just did the die down for a bit. Okay, thank you. So like I said, with the Trivium the Crusade, I saw them live in 2006 with my friends in a small club here in Toronto. And yeah, that was an amazing concert. You know, I really like the Crusade a lot. It's a great thrash metal album. I got hooked on lots of the songs. It's probably some of their best guitaring they ever did on an album. Really good song composition. There's an instrumental on this CD as well, which is really good. And it's track number 12, Crusade. And yeah, you know, this was a thrash metal album. They changed their style. I really loved it for what it was. It had that 80s metal like thrash feel to it. It was headbanging, also really energetic. I think as musicians they improved a lot in this album from Ascendancy with song composition, because I thought the songs were better made. And yeah, songs that stand out for me in this album are like Ignition, Detonation, Anthem, We Are the Fire, Contempt Breeds Contamination, and the instrumental The Crusade. So you know, so these are my top 3 favorite albums from Trivium, and you know what? I know you're thinking, why did I not include Shogun? Well, you know what? I thought Shogun was a really good CD. I just thought it was a little overproduced, to be honest. Shogun is an amazing album, probably number 4th. If there was a 4th ranking, it would probably come in number 4. But yeah, you know what? The Crusade was just a really special album for me. I needed it at that time in my life. It represented a lot of what I was going through, and it just solidified me as a metalhead and represented everything that I was going through in my life. And I thought I really just got pumped up with it. Like the songs were really good. They were really energetic. The lyrics had deep meaning, so I got hooked on the album. But yeah, you know, I thought Shogun was a little overproduced, and Shogun's it's another great thrash metal album from Trivium. But yeah, these are my top 3 favorite Trivium albums, and you know what? Like I said, Trivium is such an amazing band. They produce so much good music over the years. They have so many great albums. It was really hard making this type of video. So let me know, what are your top 3 favorite Trivium albums? Do you like my list? Do you disagree with some of the things I said? And do you even listen to Trivium? Or if you're new to them, what do you think of them? Thank you so much, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye.